Welcome to Tech Smarter. This is the live stream where we talk to operators, innovators, and investors who are shaping the future of aging services. My name is Abby Ritchie. I'm the tech guru here at the Smarter Service. And today we're taking a deep dive into the real world impact of a resident facing tech program. So instead of just talking about the idea of better tech, we're going to discuss a proven case study straight from a new white paper we wrote together. Now, this white paper, it has been almost a year. It took us almost a year to write this. And I am so excited that just 11 months later, we've got it ready to share. So I am thrilled to be joined by the leaders behind this success story. We have with us today Cole Marvin. Cole is the executive director of Friendship Village Tempe. And then we also have their head of IT, Travis Saunders. So this truly serves as a powerful example of how a strategic human-centric approach to technology can boost resident satisfaction and truly streamline operations. So I am thrilled that they're joining me today. Welcome to Tech Smarter, Cole and Travis.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning, guys. It's a pleasure and an honor to have you on Tech Smarter. For those of you that don't know, we have been working with Friendship Village Tempe for years. Some of my favorite people live on your campus. And so when we first started to talk about putting this white paper together, I think the genesis of it came from Leading Age National last year in Nashville. And so when you're able to work on a project and see it come to fruition and impact other operators and communities, it is a victory. But I want to today introduce my guests. And Cole, could you please, for anyone who's not familiar with you, explain who you are, what you do, and who you do it for, please?
Sure. Yeah. My name is Cole Marvin. I'm the executive director here at Friendship Village Tempe. I've been here since March of 2007 and got into the business back in 1997. So been in senior living my whole entire career. And, I find great people like Travis, and then I get out of their way and let them do their thing.
You know, I want to say, in my experience of meeting with other operators and innovators and investors, that a lot of roads lead to Cole. I just want to tell you that. A lot of people are like, you need to speak with Cole. Have you talked to Cole? How awesome is Cole? And I'm not saying this just to butter you up. You know how much I care and adore you. But a lot of roads lead to Cole when it comes to providing mentorship to so many other operators. So we thank you for that.
Thank you.
And I want to also bring on and introduce Travis. Travis, could you please introduce yourself and what you do at Friendship Village Tempe?
Yeah, I'm Travis Saunders. I manage the IT department here and work with just about any sort of technology you could think of. It's sort of like a small town. I would say we're big enough to just about be a small town here. And I've been here now for just over 10 years, so about 10 and a half coming up right now. And it's been fantastic. And I loved that, I came from the consulting side of things, and I had, a book of, 60 different clients, but you don't really get to own anything that way, and this was great for me to just get to sort of own the entire situation and stick with something that, all the mistakes would be mine.
Good. I like that. I like a person who owns up to it. Awesome job. Well, today we're going to continue to focus on the white paper. And for anyone that's interested in receiving it, we have a link for it. We can share it with you after the broadcast here. And so when you hear of us talking about it, you can review it on your own, and we want to send that to you. So the first thing we're going to do here is we're going to talk about the challenge. And so many communities view technology as a major operational burden. And not a competitive advantage or a differentiator for resident engagement. So I want to ask Cole first, what were the biggest tech challenges you were facing at Friendship Village before this pilot began?
Sure. I mean, honestly, jumping in the time machine and jumping back to 2007 when I got here, Abby, I could literally go to open up a PowerPoint slideshow, and I could go to lunch and it might be open by the time I get back. It was unbelievable. I had never quite seen anything as challenging as what I walked into. So then naturally there was a gentleman here that was responsible for the whole infrastructure and everything. And after about the 10th time he told me no, I figured we need to make a change. It was almost like sometimes I think that people will try to protect their stuff, and keep everybody out and not really look to grow. And I think that was the challenge. So we brought an outside consulting firm in, and Travis was the tip of the spear on that. And we started investing and changing and really digging ourselves out of a primitive setting to what I would say right now is leading edge as far as technology goes, and not on the bleeding edge, but definitely looking to be on the leading edge.
Got it. And were you going to say something, Travis?
Just I think the other part was we have Friendship Village Tempe. We're a Type A life care community. People that are coming here are making lifestyle decisions. They don't need us. They're coming in 100% independent. We have a continuum of care to support them as they age in place, but our people are coming in, in their mid 70s. And especially today, appetite for technology has only grown exponentially. And so when you try to position yourself as an organization that represents tech friendly, you need to have the infrastructure behind to support these folks who oftentimes do need a lot more support than someone else. And so making sure that we've built a team that we thought was capable of it, and meeting admins needs as well as the residents needs. It's really two totally separate buckets. Today we have about 7 people in our IT department. I doubt many communities in our space have a staff like that. But ultimately finding out when we brought Lorenzo in and the smarter service, realizing there's even another level of needs that we thought we might be meeting, but it turns out I don't think we were. And therein was the success.
Yeah, I want to hop in and talk about that. So for anyone who doesn't know about Lorenzo, he is one of the Smarter Service Tech Concierge, and people love him. I know people have asked him to move in with them, to have them there all the time. And it's really and truly that kind of relationship and trust that's built. Before Lorenzo came onto your campus, what were some of the challenges that you dealt with?
I can take that one. So a lot of what we were seeing was just sort of prioritizing some of the things that on-site tech like Lorenzo is perfect for. Those sorts of questions, sitting down and working through something on their tablet or smartphone, or just answering a question. There's a weird email they got and they just wanted to show someone and have input that way. That type of request, in a lot of cases, if you look at the types of requests that we get throughout the day, priority wise, that may fall down lower a bit. So there may be a bit of a delay in getting back to that person and being able to help them out. If we've got an issue with a phone trunk that we're working on, hey, that could be all hands on deck. We may have half or most of our team focused on something like that, and just not have time for some of those other questions that it's not going to end the business, but obviously that sort of thing impacts resident satisfaction.
100%. And you know what we found in our research is that a lot of times the IT staff is about 6 months behind meeting their goals because the needs of the residents are so pressing. And while they may not be urgent, they are very important.
Yep.
So that's exactly what our initial audit found. I want to talk now about some of the solution, how you went ahead and implemented this. And Travis, if you take this one, I want to talk about how important was having a turnkey solution to implementing this type of tech pilot.
That was one of the absolute top, things on my mind, because the last thing I wanted to do was have a system or a sort of an ancillary service that added additional managerial or administrative, burden, or just procedural burden to getting things done, and being able to help people. So, having this basically set up where it's an appointment, the residents make the appointment directly with Lorenzo, and they go about it that way. They don't even need to involve us unless it's something that maybe Lorenzo isn't the right, fit for in that situation. And then we have him situated when he's on site right up by the front desk. And our front desk receptionist can input that work order and let us know what the conversation was immediately right there. And it's just brilliant that way. There's just no friction. It's just getting people helped and on to the next question. It's just super fast, and it doesn't add any load to my team. So that's huge.
That's great. Yeah, we have found in our studies and in our research and our projects that having a smooth launch, introducing the service in advance so people know what they can expect, having the service like in the lobby where people are in and out and directly moving through close to the front desk staff, because that does happen so often that people just go down there and they'll say, can you help me with my phone? I can't find my email. That type of thing is great for top of mind awareness. And the next thing I want to discuss is about having a strategic partnership. When this white paper first came into play, it came from CPS. So, CPS is vetting vendors. So how important, Cole, this one's for you, how important was that to work with a CPS vetted vendor? That's a hard one to say.
Yeah, I mean, it's good. Care Purchasing Services, for those who don't know, is a group purchasing organization that's owned and operated by Life Care Services, which is part of the family of companies. And one of their things is vetting people before they are put in front of community. So having that vetting service certainly helps. And, having the relationship we had with you was kind of that was a benefit too. You are already a part of the Friendship Village family, and we're beloved by our residents. And so, when your position changed a little bit, I know there was a lot of trepidation and concerns from the residents about losing Abby and all the great relationships she's built. So, I think it being an extension of you was also powerful. And then I just want to reiterate one location. It's like real estate. Having Lorenzo in the lobby where people can say, what are they doing over there? Oh my gosh, I'm having, and then just, you see the residents sitting at the tables waiting for their appointment. You see collaboration happening there amongst residents talking about technology. And, sometimes just sharing some of the challenges is therapy in and of itself. So I think the benefits have been far and wide as it relates to that. And I think your relationship with Care Purchasing should hopefully really tee up some other opportunities within the LCS family and even beyond. So.
Yeah, I love the fact, I just want to circle back that Lorenzo's right there in the lobby, not sequestered away in a conference room or a classroom down the hall, but he's right there where the residents are. So, and the impact that's having on your residents and your staff. The case study that we did reports a 107% utilization rate, and this is tangibly, this impacts resident satisfaction and daily staff workload. And so I just want to know, on a day-to-day basis, what did you observe as a result of the program? And Travis, you could take that one.
Yeah. Yeah, I figured that's better for me. So it is really huge for us. One of the things that was difficult for us previously is, like I was saying, when you're prioritizing these things, especially on certain days of the week, it can become an issue. So we had some problems on, say, a Friday, and that is when we have Lorenzo on campus here. And there was an additional amount of sort of anxiety and urgency putting, requests in on a Friday, because they know they're going to have to wait till Monday. We don't, other than for emergencies, we don't have staffing over the weekend. So that sort of thing just made it sort of took that anxiety away, that concern that, oh, if I have a question and I wanted to try and get help with this, that I'm not going to be able to hear anyone, until Monday. And that really helped eliminate that. And, on top of it, just overall, some of the simpler questions, eliminating those is huge, because a lot of the time that we end up spending is tracking the individual down. It's not even as much the time it takes to show them something, having to track them down because they either we set an appointment or they put in a request and then promptly went to lunch. So that sort of thing, it makes it very difficult sometimes. And we might have a work order that looks like we've been sitting on it, 4 days old. But we've been making, calls, and we've been trying to reach the person, trying to meet up. And I think having everyone right there allows, just like you were talking about before, Cole, having people just sitting at the tables. Sometimes the questions are solved by the residents there sitting at the table. You see a lot of this going on there. You see someone showing the other person their tablet, and then the other person is mimicking. So some of those requests end up, being eliminated before they even get to the head table up to Lorenzo. But I think that's the thing that we see when you've got a location like that set up. They show up there, and there's no hunting them down. And sometimes that is literally 85-90% of the time that we have to spend on an individual ticket is just trying to find them. So that's been
amazing. I had never thought of that before, so thank you for bringing that. But when the resident knows that the tech concierge is going to be there in the lobby every Tuesday and Thursday, for instance, from this time to this time, it definitely helps narrow down when and where they might be supported. And I love the fact that the residents are empowering each other, and just by sitting there and talking through it while they're waiting for their time slot, for instance, is a beautiful, beautiful thing. I love that. The next area I want to talk about is digital safety and fraud prevention, which is huge. And there's a rising threat of digital fraud and scams, and a strong emphasis on tech education to help older adults understand this. So how has having a dedicated tech concierge helped to protect your residents and improve their digital safety?
Yeah, I mean, from my end, I think it certainly complements it. We have a lot of folks that have been duped by scams, and they are getting better and better at doing it. And it's unfortunate. We've had a lot of folks lose a lot of money secondary to these scams. So we're banging that drum. We're putting it out there. We're promoting it. And I think that having Lorenzo there, I think like Travis said, hey, I got this funny email. You want to take a look at it? and kind of reinforcing if it sounds too good to be true, it is. If Blake Shelton needs money from you, that's not real. He does not need your money. He's good. And so just having more than one voice saying the same thing, it certainly helps. It's complementary. It's not hurting.
Yeah, I agree. And the other thing that I would add to that, though, is just increasing their confidence overall in using their technology. Brings a lot of people just the confidence that, hey, when they have a question on something, that's actually a good thing. That doesn't mean that that they're behind the times. It doesn't mean that they're stupid when it comes to technology. It doesn't mean that. Everybody has questions, and so having between us and then also having Lorenzo on the campus and talking about that, and then Fraud Fridays and all of that sort of information coming in all together just works to really allow them to feel comfortable to come forward with the questions rather than I don't want to look silly by asking the question, so I'm just going to click because it's probably fine. Nothing's happened before, so it'll be fine. Giving them the confidence. No, if I have a question, that means it's probably worthwhile. So I'm going to just hold on to this for a little bit, and I'm going to ask them.
I love that. I think it is so important that the conversation continues. It's like you just keep bringing it up. There's a point person who's going to be able to answer this, and that it's not just a one-time only, let's just talk about fraud or the scams, but it's ongoing, and it's so valuable. They also noticed too, from working with many residents, and that is that when they have a basic foundation of maybe scams or frauds or what it looks like, and then they start to build upon it, that they build their confidence and their ability to either research it or find the right person to answer the question for them. So I absolutely love that. I want to talk about some of the lessons learned, and one of the most critical factors for success, as this case study points out, was the consistent staffing of a dedicated tech concierge who build trust. So this is not like a college student or high school students who maybe they come one week, maybe they come the next week, which is all a valid approach that I've seen across many communities. And it's not always a different volunteer or a different tech concierge. It is a consistent, dedicated tech concierge. How and what did you learn about the importance of having consistent on-site support versus other support models?
Yeah, I really feel that's been huge. When it first kicked off, that word of mouth, and so getting good sound advice, having their questions answered, having their problems fixed, that led to, it just spreads like wildfire, right? If it's really good feedback or really bad feedback, those two things just absolutely go crazy. And it was very good. So the subsequent meeting times just sort of blew up. It was packed after that. So and that really comes from that it's the same person. That it's the same person that was there last time. They did a great job last time. They answered all of this person's, my friend's questions. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to get the same person. I'm not going to get it's not a revolving door. It's not a new contractor every week.
Yeah, I just want to echo that. I mean, and the village is a little different. Travis has been here for 11 years. I've been here for 18 years. We're relatively newbies to some of the other folks here. If that, it's hard to imagine, but there's not a lot of turnover here at the village, and so relationships become a big part of what we do. And so I think one of the coolest parts about the partnership with Smarter Service was kind of bringing that same type of concept of the familiar face. Culturally, Lorenzo is a perfect fit for the hospitality culture that we have created here. So that was complimentary. And again, just having that same person, you build those relationships. Even if I don't have an appointment scheduled with Lorenzo, I see him in the lobby, as a resident, say, "Hi, I see you," and he says, "Hi, I see you." That's just that feels good. It's like cheers. place where everybody knows your name.
Well, and we're huge about really trying to control isn't the right word, but really maintain a super, super high level of customer service, right? So we do that in our hiring phase, right? So we're finding the right person with the right attitude, the right personality for the situation. And when you're dealing with we do have vendors where we don't know who's going to show up. It's a roll of the dice and the odds are against us getting a great technician out. So, so knowing that it is the same person and we've already met that person, we know who's going to be there. There's no question. That's just huge for the resident facing, person that we're putting them with.
Yeah, the trusted relationships that the residents build with the staff, with the service technicians, with the tech concierge, like they are so valuable and just continues to build on a resident's comfort level, as well as the staff's ability to then forward questions to the tech concierge. And, one thing that I noticed is that having this type of service, it becomes a market differentiator. So it really sets you aside from maybe the community that you're in competition with. Has providing this type of service changed the way that you position Friendship Village Tempe to prospective residents and families, Cole?
Well, again, it's been complimentary. We have usually about 40, 50 prospects come on our campus a month and receive a presentation on the village, and then we start building relationships from there. But one of the things we promote is being a very tech-friendly community and our ability to support folks. And so adding the smarter service in there as another thing that we can point towards, where folks can rest assured that if they move here, they're going to feel supported on the technology side. And if they want to try something new, you can try something new with the peace of mind of knowing there's going to be bumps in the road, but I know who I can go to and receive that help, that support, and it's not one of those, have you reset your computer? It's not that type of approach. It's that relationship based approach where let's get into we're in this together, and I think there's nothing better. There's nothing more terrifying than being alone trying to fix technology. There's nothing better than truly having somebody that pulls up side by side with you and kind of joins you on your journey, listens to what you're saying, and really kind of teaches you how to fish versus just giving you a fish. So I think that's it.
I agree. And just being tech forward overall and having, people to talk with, has definitely made a big difference. We have prospective residents that, say 10 years ago, I never would have thought that we would have been in the IT department speaking with so many prospective residents. And it kind of blows me away just all the time, how many really want to know that that they will have some sort of support, here on campus before they pull the trigger, before they agree to move in here.
Travis literally helped close a sale a couple weeks ago with a guy that was absolutely talking about, it was all about technology. That was his thing, and it was a big deal.
Excellent. I'm so glad to hear that. It's truly a differentiator. And for an operator who's on the fence about having this type of support, Cole, is there anything that you can add to it? And wait, I got to add in, Cole, what are your occupancy levels right now?
Yeah, we have about 1,000 people total on our campus, and I just got our occupancy report this morning, ironically. Our whole campus is sitting at 95% occupied. But on the independent living side, which is really where your primary focus is, that whole lifestyle decision that you're selling, we have 130 people with $10,000 down waiting in line for us to call them. So
Amazing.
It is
Amazing.
incredible. It is.
So it's truly the kind of thing that it's a valuable asset. You would encourage other operators who are still on the fence.
Yeah, you can't. It's not even. I think at one point in time it was an option, and that window has closed. If you're not on the bus, you're definitely you're missing the boat all day long.
Yep, 100%. Well, that is sort of brings us to the end. Is there anything else that you would like to share or add in with any of the experience that you've had with this type of pilot?
Well, I can offer up, kind of the funny side of it, or not so funny side of it is, and having been here as long as I've been here, when we were at one point in time looking to, it's like, okay, this project is over. Lorenzo won't be coming back. We had a bit of an anarchy on our hands. Residents were losing their minds at a rate that was attention getting. It was at a level that I have only seen a few times in my 18 years, and it rose to that level. So that told me a lot about the service and what it really meant to the customer. I think that's what's most important. And it's like I use a lot of analogies, but at the end of the day, a lot of times you'll joke, happy wife, happy life. Well, happy residents, happy life. And residents that feel fully supported on technology and are being successful with technology. And loneliness is a big part of senior housing that I think a lot of communities try to battle. It's not an issue here. But one of the things is technology keeps us connected. Connected to our children who might live all over the world at Friendship Village. I mean, we have residents who have kids all over the world. And if you're helping them stay connected with those folks and their grandkids who are in college and those types of things, you're making a huge difference on so many different levels that you probably don't even realize the net impact of satisfied residents, what it means to everybody.
Wonderful, wonderful. We got a question here, if you guys have time, from Vida. How much have you seen expectations on tech help for residents increase in your sales process?
Substantially. And again, it has to do when you're a type A life care community, you're selling a service that they don't need. If they need you, we don't want you. You need to come before you need us. I mean, you're coming in independently. So they're making a lifestyle decision, and our consumers are so much more educated. When they show up, they have printouts of questions to ask. Technology is always on that list of how do you tell us about your internet, tell us about your television programming, tell us about the options, tell us about how you support technology. What do I have to call this big company and swim in this abyss? No, we actually have somebody who will come to your home who you will know and have a relationship with, and help you fix that remote control issue or whatever the case is. It's a game changer.
It is, indeed, it is. And guys, I just want to extend a huge thank you to both of you for sharing the valuable insights and the story behind this successful pilot. And this experience truly shows that investing in a high demand, personalized tech support is not just a nice to have, it's a smart, strategic decision. And thank you for being here today. For everyone's watching and anyone who would like to receive the white paper, you can reach out to me on LinkedIn, or you can go to the Smarter Service website, and it's at thesmarterservice.com/white paper to see the full results. Guys, thank you for being here today. It is an honor and a privilege to be in your presence, and I can't thank you enough. And for those who are with us today in the audience and submitting questions, thank you for tuning in to Tech Smarter, and we'll see you back here next time.
Thank you.